Welcome to the 45th Spot Podcast. It is your host, Coach Cav, and I have here with me a special guest with me, Natalya Pennant, and we're going to go through this interview. She's going to tell us a little bit about ourselves, and then she's going to ask some questions. So, Natalya, you have the floor.
Hi, I'm Natalya, but I go by Nat. I go to Albertus Magnus College in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm on the women's soccer team, and I major in marketing and communications. I'm a double major.
Okay, excuse me. All right. So what made you go into that major? Was there like a class in high school that sparked your interest? What did you find out about this in college?
So funny enough, I wanted to be an athletic trainer.
Okay, I think that's common.
Yeah, I wanted to be in like the health science field. My big thing is like helping. I feel like that's my purpose in life, helping people. And I knew I could do that through health science. Then the science was too much, and I was like, we got to find a different major to help people. So I was like, I had a teacher. She was funny enough, I think she was my college seminar teacher, but she worked for ESPN, Sports Illustrated, and she was into sports journalism. And I didn't really want to write, but I wanted to get into like that realm with sports and communication. So I was like, okay, I became a communications and sports journalism major. And then I was like, I really want to go more PR. I don't want to write. I don't really want to bash people. That's not really my thing.
Okay.
I was like, So then I ended up getting into communications, and I had a conversation with somebody I used to train with, and he was like, you get very like businesswoman. Like you should enter business. And he really made me think about it. And I was like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, but I tested the waters, and then I learned that there's different parts of like business, like marketing, all that different stuff. So I was like, like I can get down with marketing. Like that's what I'm interested in because I could connect it to communication. So
Got it.
It's a long journey, but I got there. I switched my majors a couple times.
Got it. Okay, but that's real. I'm glad that you shared that. Appreciate you for sharing that, because a lot of people think like you go into college with one major and then that's it. No, you got 4 years to get your degree. Sometimes, if you do change a little late, you might have to go, a little longer.
Yeah.
But you got to find out what's best for you so that when you leave college, you can get into that career. Love that. So this question but it's definitely going to be easy, I think. I don't know. But what inspired you to pursue your sport at the collegiate level?
Honestly, I just love playing soccer. I've been playing since I was 3.
Okay.
So I knew in my head, and that's really the only sport I ever played. I ran track in high school, but I stopped because I knew I wanted to get recruited and I wanted to focus more on soccer by my junior and senior year. And I played flag football, which correlates with soccer in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the same type of movement, same type of stuff. It's just you're catching a ball instead of kicking it. But I really just loved playing, and I knew I'm very competitive, so I was like, I want to get to the highest level that I can. I want to play in college because not everybody plays in college.
Yeah.
And I knew I could, so I was like, that's just my end goal. Wherever I ended up, it didn't matter. D1, D2, D3, NA, IA, JUCO, didn't matter. I just wanted to play in college.
Okay, got it. I love that. So, got it. It wasn't just money. It was just the love of the game.
Yeah.
Love that. Because some athletes sometimes I'm just trying to pay for my education.
Yeah,
and that's also real
that's
too.
real. That's real. I can't lie.
Yeah, but you just love the game.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so can you walk us through the recruiting process and how you chose your school? Just because soccer is different than track, it's different than football, it's different, in every sport. So if you can, to your best, ability, walk us through your recruiting process.
Okay, so boom, my first school, because I'm a transfer student, I started getting emails. So basically how it works for soccer, your coach takes you to these ID clinics and camps and tournaments. So a bunch of the tournaments that we went up to were in Massachusetts because that's where more of the schools are. Okay. And they would come to watch you play. It didn't matter. They would just come watch games. Sometimes they're looking for people, sometimes they're not. So they're just coming to watch games, see how you play, see what they're looking for. So sometimes it might be a center back, sometimes it might be a forward. Sometimes they're specifically looking for something. And then others are there generally. Head coaches, assistant coaches, sometimes grad students go to watch. There's also ID clinics and camps that you can fly to and pay for and do, which I did once, but I wouldn't really. It was really based off with my team. Yeah. You go to these stuff and then they email you. So we had our names, our emails, our numbers, how they could contact us, and parents would give them out. And they can reach you that way. So I had a couple coaches after my junior year reach out to me. And my first one was actually Springfield College. They were one of the first schools, and they stayed consistent until my senior year. And they just reach out to you. They ask you a bunch of stuff. Sometimes they'll Zoom interview you. Sometimes they'll ask you to come to the campus for unofficial tours. Then it becomes official. For D3, you get a overnight. So if you get overnight, that's basically your official. It's not like those photo shoots at D1. Sorry, not to dim your light. You don't get that. Some D3s do that, but it's very rare that they do that. So you get an overnight, you meet the team, and you kind of you're very honest with the coach on what you want, have those conversations, and then they can offer you. So for me, Springfield College was I had a bunch of schools reach out, a bunch of D3s, a bunch of D2s, a couple of D1s, but they didn't go my way. So I won't talk about it. But a bunch of D3s reached out and they were like, oh, like, we're very interested, whatever. And I kind of just went to those different schools, touring, getting the feel, getting the vibe. Obviously, you have to encounter stuff like money, location, and your major, which I had a lot of time to think about. And then I ended up at Springfield because, one, I wanted to be an athletic trainer, and they're very known for that in the nation. They're very good for that. So if you want to do that, go there. But they're very good at that. And then I wanted to play soccer, and they were the first school to recruit me. And I feel like at that level and consistency, I really needed that at the time. So in my head, and my parents were kind of a big factor in like being like, oh, it's a good school. So I was like, I'll go. Ended up should have gone in with my gut. I didn't really like the school. It's just me personally. I feel like the school was just too big. I really like a small school. I come from. When I was in middle school, my graduating class was like 20 people. So I'm used to that. Like when I got to Windsor, I was like, there's a lot of people. I can't do this. But I really like a small school. And I just was not happy that I hit rock bottom by my sophomore year. And I was like, I just mentally, physically, I changed my major. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I entered the portal. And a bunch of schools reached out again, the same ones that from my senior year, which I was very shocked. And I kind of took my time again with the process this time. I really asked the questions I should have asked my senior year. And I was just like, what are your values? What do you look for in a player? Just don't lie. Don't lie to me. I don't want to be here. And if you don't want me here, I don't want to be here. So I kind of took my time, went to all these different schools while I was still at Springfield. And then I ended up going to Albertus, which I still think is the best decision that I made. But I haven't played a season yet, which is upcoming. So that's kind of how that process goes for soccer. It's like they come to ID clinic camps mainly, and they come watch you at games, whatever. Mainly club games. They don't. High school is a little different, but mainly club games. They come and watch you, and then you kind of just have that back and forth communication.
I appreciate you sharing that, especially the being honest part of asking those questions because don't be afraid to act. Like my high school athletes that want to play on the collegiate level, please do not be afraid to ask those questions. Like these coaches, if it's not you, it's somebody else. So you want to get to that nitty gritty. Like, look, what are you looking for?
And sometimes not every coach is like intentional. So I'm not saying every coach is a bad coach, but some coaches like will tell you something just to get you, and it be like that be it. So I feel like if you're having those conversations with them, they respect you more as a person, and it's honest for you. So it's like you don't want to be somewhere that you don't want to be. That's what ended up happening to me. So I do recommend asking those hard questions, even though coaches may not like it, or sometimes it gives you clarity. So all right, so next one is, what's a day in the life for you as a soccer athlete? At school or like in the summer?
No, I'm talking about school, girl.
Okay.
School.
If we're in season, like school, I'm going to classes. Right now, my schedule is not bad. So like 2 out of the days I have one class, and then the other 2 I have 2, and then I don't have school on Fridays.
We love that.
Shout out Albertus for that one. No school on Fridays. Bless. But basically, like if it's a game day, I'll go to class. I think my class on that day doesn't start till 11 a.m. Our classes are an hour and 15. After, usually, I'm really trying to get work done. I have an internship, so I'll be doing internship work. I still work for my church back at home and do editing for that. So I usually try and get that in. That's my deadline, actually, on Wednesdays to get that in. And then I'll try and, like, do some type of, like, visualization. I've been trying to do that more before games and practices. I'm also religious, so I try and get the word in before, too. I try and meditate on that. Been adding on that, trying to meditate in the word. And then I'm very low-key when it comes before games and practices. So you can't be in my ear yelling. You can't be, no.
None of that.
We could talk about it after. Maybe not, I'll be too tired. But I like to listen to music. I like to relax. I like to chill. I like to focus on the game. And then once it comes to game time, whatever, we get to game time. And then after, if we're home, I'll eat after. I can't eat before games. I'll throw up. I can't.
No, not even a little granola bar?
Maybe a little snack, but I get too riled up. I'm ready to go. Like, I just want to be running around the field. But after, I'll eat dinner, and then I'm going to bed. Games be too late. Even if it's 1-3, I'm taking a nap somehow. But it really varies depending on the day. Like, practices can change because we only have one field compared to other schools. So field hockey, men's soccer, and then us are on the field. So it depends on when we have practice. It depends on when we have games. But it varies. But it can be busy, especially if you do a lot. So like I have an internship. I still work for my church. I have to get classes done. I take online classes that aren't in person. So it's a bunch of different things. But time management.
That's important.
Time management
is important. So if you can, I will add this with that is high schoolers. If you can get that, if you can work on that, okay? Not everybody is great at it, and that's okay. But if you can work on it in high school, it'll help you in college. Everything flows into other things. All right, so thanks for sharing that. That's a day in the life. I love that. I kind of wish I was a part of that, but that's for another episode. Okay, so how do you balance academics, athletics, and your personal life? I know you touched on it a little bit with the previous question, but anything like specific? I know you say like before game day, don't come with the
don't come with the
nonsense. Yeah, right.
It's funny. I like to joke I have no social life. I really, I like low key I don't, but low key I do. I have a very small circle. So the people that know me very well. I work off a schedule. Like I'm trying to work on it. I'm not very spontaneous, y'all. It has to be like I'm not doing anything and I'm like, then I'll be spontaneous. But I have a schedule. So I have a good calendar. I write everything in there.
Love that. Organized.
I have practice. I have work. I have something else to do. I have to add it in unless I already know in my head, like, I'm going to do that. Like, that's the big thing of the day. But I have a calendar. But maintaining it, when you have Caribbean parents, academics comes first. So it's real hard not to focus on it. But I think because I have such a small circle in terms of social life, it's a lot easier to manage with my friends and family. Like, I already know who I speak to a lot. I already know my parents I'm going to speak to, my siblings. And I see them at games, too. So I see them, 2-3 days out the week. So I still see them consistently. It's just my friends I have to keep up with. But they're also just as busy as I am. So we all have that understanding of, like, we love each other, but we have to lock in right now. We all have the same goal of graduating, getting out of here, and just doing our own thing. So
Okay. Appreciate you sharing that. So what is the biggest shock or adjustment transitioning from high school to college soccer?
In terms of athletics, there was no shock. I knew girls were going to be big, fast, strong. I knew that the level of competition was going to drastically get a lot bigger than playing high school, especially at Windsor. And I knew that what I needed to do coming in preseason, and I knew we had to run the yo-yo test. I knew there was a specific time. The other freshmen you're coming in with, so and you watch girls that are already on the field in the spot you want to play in. So you're already knowing what you need to do. So that wasn't a big shock to me. Like, some of the stuff we was doing, I'm like, damn, it's a lot right now. But it was never like, I can't do this. Like, I need to take a seat and rethink my whole life. But in terms of like social life and like academics, how much free time you have. So like depending on your major and how like demanding it is, it varies. But for me at the time, like I had 2 classes, 3 classes a day. Sometimes when they were back to back, and I would have free time before practice and I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, do I take a nap? Do I go see my friends? Do I go to their dorm? Do I actually do my work? Like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. But as you go on, that's something you kind of learn and you fit things in as like a freshman or even when you transfer to a new school. But the freedom, I was like, this is new. I was in high school telling me where to go to class, yelling at us in the hallways.
Get out the hallway.
I don't know. That was new, but the freedom was real new to me.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I would say time management is definitely important. Like you said, you have all of these options. And it's like, what are you
You don't need to take every option when you get to college. Do what works for you. Join the clubs that matter to you or fit with you. Like, there's business clubs at my old school. There was business clubs. Join the business club if you're a business major. Don't go doing all that extra stuff because Ray and Che said no. Just do what you have to do. Join stuff, but don't overwork yourself in college because you have the freedom. Because then you're not going to have no time.
Right.
That's what I did.
You don't want to overwhelm yourself. Yeah. So how do you deal with pressure, expectations, maybe comparison even?
So I thrive off of pressure, actually.
Okay, pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah, if you tell me, like, if we are down in a game and you're telling me this, that, you better expect an animals to come out. I don't know what it is. Or if, like, coaches are like my coach going into this season sat me down. It was 2 minutes. He said, Nat, you have the position. You're a very versatile player. Please expect to be doing XX Ray in the season. I said, oof.
You ready?
Mind you, there's other girls that play the position. There's girls that's been here since their freshman year. I'm like, ooh, there's pressure right here because I know not only are my teammates expecting me to step up to the plate and add to what they have, but now my coaches are all like, we see something. Yeah. Now you have to exceed it or meet that expectation.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, all right, cool. I know what I need to do. I've been training all summer. I've been doing what I've been needed to do. So I really thrive off that.
Yeah.
In terms of comparison, I kind of got over that thing where it's like, I feel like everybody brings something to the sport that they play. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I can't really dwell over, and I feel like I'm a versatile player, so I don't dwell over what somebody does very well. I can do just equally as well and do other stuff better. So I really don't, like, comparison, it gets to you because it's like, damn, like, this girl does this or this guy does this, but when you get older, it's kind of just like, I'm gonna just worry about me and what I need to do. It's really you versus you at the end of the day, even if you want a team sport. So that
part for sure. And so, what's the team culture? I know you're going to a new school.
Yeah.
So, what are you? You know, how are you? How do I tailor this question? Like, what's the team culture? What do you think the team culture is going to be?
Based off the spring that I played with the girls, they're all very, like, goofy. Mm-hmm. Like, they all like to make jokes. They're never, like, when we lock in, but they really like to be serious. They really like to make jokes. Mm-hmm. So based off that, I feel like I'm going to have a lot more fun with them.
Okay.
But based off preseason, I'm hoping when we get down to having 3 practices a day that they just lock in.